What is going on, everyone? I'm Jaiman White, and welcome back to another edition of the Black and Yellow Beat.
Yeah, you know what it is.
I'm bringing you the biggest news and updates from our favorite Pittsburgh sports teams. It is officially week 6 of the NFL season, and on Sunday afternoon, the Pittsburgh Steelers took down the Cleveland Browns at home to secure their 4th win of the year. It was, a back and forth defensive battle at times. It was as advertised as it was going to be: sloppy, gritty, AFC North football. But in the end, the Steelers pulled away for a 23-9 victory over Cleveland. And again, it was, rock'em sock'em for a lot of it. A lot of the storylines headed into the week was these two marquee defenses and who was going to have the upper hand and which offense was going to be able to just do enough to get out of this slugfest. And again, as it was, as always with Cleveland or Baltimore, Cincinnati, a little sloppy at times, a little gritty, definitely hard-nosed. Good football to watch on a fall afternoon. You could definitely feel the energy there at Acrisure Stadium in the city, and even all the way up here in Montana. I was representing, so we were good to go. And with that being said, lots to talk about with the team today, so let's get into it. So starting off with the Steelers offense, which is, as every week passes, is seeming to take shape right in front of our eyes as the kind of identity and idea that they had going into the season with the new additions they made, and Arthur Smith back in control of the offense for the second year, Aaron Rodgers at the helm, Jaylen Warren the lead back now. All these different pieces that they're trying to play with, it feels like it's finally taking shape as to what it's supposed to look like and what it could look like in a postseason run. So quickly go over some numbers. Aaron Rodgers on the day, 21 of 30, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The Cleveland Browns defense is a stout one to be reckoned with, and they have not allowed a 300-yard passer to this point in the season. That streak continues as Aaron Rodgers only hit 235 yards, but had some good connections with DK Metcalf and Darnell Washington. Metcalf went 4 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. Had a couple of big plays along the sidelines and just able to get free and do work in space. A big-bodied receiver, big, fast, physical, was able to do his thing today. And Darnell Washington, Mount Washington, out here, playing a really exciting new role for him. He's listed at like 265 pounds, 6'7" tight end when he was drafted. And it's clear to see he is nowhere near 265 pounds. And now the broadcast team just speculates on it because there's no official numbers out there. But a lot of people are thinking he's north of 300 pounds. And again, it's 6'7". It's like throwing a football up to Shaq or something, just letting him go to the rim and hammer it down because he's a big part of why the Steelers offense is moving and grooving the way they are, putting them in jumbo sets on the offensive line, giving that extra protection to this weaker offensive line, and giving Aaron Rodgers more time in the pocket, doing good work in the run game. And today he had kind of a breakout performance. Again, 3 receptions, 62 yards, just a big body out there. Just, what do you do against a guy like that? And he had a couple more targets and, just misplaced balls that he could have had even more yards and more catches on the day. But awesome to see him get involved in the offense. Has gone far too long seeing him not a part of the offense. He's an athlete. I mean, he's got offensive line size with wide receiver like skills and footwork, and use them, put them in space, and they have been. It's been a lot of fun. Jaylen Warren, back from injury, of course, wasn't able to play in the Steelers contest in Ireland. Was sidelined with a knee injury, but he's back today. On Sunday, 11 carries, 52 yards. Was able to push the pile, move the chains on several occasions. Kenneth Gainwell and Caleb Johnson also had 6 carries apiece. So trying to get Caleb Johnson, the rookie, more involved. And Kenneth Gainwell was the star of the show in Ireland. So I'm really surprised he wasn't involved more in the run game today. But had a couple of receptions as well. So they're still using them in the offense, and returned a kick for 24 yards. So. But again, yeah, it feels like this is the way the offense is supposed to look, ground and pound, short stuff, and then, when the opportunity presents itself, get some big plays out there to Metcalf, who again was the leading receiver today. No Calvin Austin today. He was sidelined with a shoulder injury, so Darnell Washington was the second leading receiver. Cam Hayward's little brother, Connor Hayward, caught a touchdown in the end zone. Aaron Rodgers looking like a prime Brett Favre out there, throwing across his body into traffic, wide receiver, going in the opposite direction, but fitted in there, made it happen, which was incredible. And 0 sacks allowed from this Steelers offensive line. So, and not perfect at times. Aaron still got hit a little bit and still got knocked around, but 0 sacks against a formidable Browns offense or defensive line, to include one of the best defensive players of this generation, Myles Garrett, who was quiet on the day in that respect. Had 335 yards of total offense compared to Cleveland's 248 yards. 5 for 13 on third downs. Not terrible, not great. Could be better, obviously. And time of possession, 31 minutes and 52 seconds. So just a little bit over half the game clock. Which towards the end of the game, we were able to just run the ball, get some short passes in, and play keep away. Again, the score was 23-9, 2 touchdowns on the day. Chris Boswell had himself a day as well. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, the Steelers offense is looking better and better, in my opinion, every week. Still, not great. I mean, it's still one of the lowest producing offenses in the NFL. But when you have a defense as good as the Steelers, then sometimes all you need to just do is play good enough. And this wasn't, a terrible team they were going up against. Again, the offensive line staying intact, keeping Aaron Rodgers upright, Jaylen Warren being able to do his thing, DK Metcalf being able to do his thing, and Big Ben Washington being able to insert himself into the game plan. So overall, good day from the offense. I give it a B+. Had some explosive plays, had some creativity. I want to see Pat Freiermuth get involved. Only 1 catch today for 11 yards. I don't know how he's not a bigger part of this offense. But again, Steelers offense did just enough. Aaron Rodgers had 2 touchdowns on the day. I can't complain. And of course, we won. So I can't complain about that. So as I said with the offense, this defense seemingly gets better and better every week. That week 2 loss we had to Seattle, where they ran all over us, feels like a distant memory at this point, because this defense has played so well. Played well against New England, played better against Minnesota, and I think they played great today against Cleveland. They had a marquee back in Quinshaw Judkins, the rookie out of Ohio State, and he was limited to just 36 yards on 12 carries. They had rookie quarterback out there, Dylan Gabriel, 0 touchdowns, went 29-52 for 221 yards. And, this group they had a tall task in front of them, because the Cleveland Browns, get this, the Cleveland Browns have not won a regular season game in Pittsburgh since 2004. Steelers are 21-0 in that span at home against the Browns, allowing just 14.7 points per game. Held them to 9 today, and this is an offense that hasn't scored more than 17 points on the season. There's MLB teams that have scored more runs in a game than the Browns have this year. Crazy. So they had a tall task in front of them, but the defense, they played strong, physical all day long. Didn't allow any large splash plays. Kind of showed some cracks in the fourth quarter, and it was a heavily penalized unit today, which throughout the season they have not been. 10 penalties for 59 yards on the day. Again, a majority of them being on the defense, and got a little chippy there at the end, and some big hits that got called for flags and pass interference, whatever, but still kept the Browns offense out of the end zone. And Dylan Gabriel, I think he's going to be a good starter in this league. He has the FBS college record for most starts in a college career. I think it's 64. So he's got plenty of experience. He's played in multiple offenses in his collegiate career. Obviously, it's different when you come to the NFL, but to this point, I think he's proven a lot of doubters wrong. Went into the 3rd round, again, an older quarterback coming out of the draft compared to some of the other younger guys. And of course, the height thing has been, I think, really dramatized. He's 5'11". Is he going to be able to throw over these offensive linemen and defensive linemen in front of him? Is he going to be able to make plays over the middle? Is he going to be able to see his receivers? And at this point, his size is such a talking point, but it's really just shows how clueless some pundits are, because we have, and 5'11", he's not tall, he's not a prototypical 6'4", 6'5" quarterback like Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger or some of these other guys that have been successful, but Doug Flutie had a good run in the NFL, and he was shorter than Dylan Gabriel. Russell Wilson, I would say, have a Hall of Fame career. Drew Brees absolutely had a Hall of Fame career, and he was just south of 6 foot. Who else? Kyler Murray's a great starter in this league. So, and Dylan Gabriel can move around a little bit, and left-handed quarterbacks always seem to give defenses a little bit of trouble. Something they don't see every day. So I think he's going to be just fine. But against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was unsuccessful, to say the least. But still did his thing, 29 completions for 221 yards. Not too bad. They found some rhythm in the passing game towards the end of the game, just not able to punch it in the end zone. And were not successful on 4th down at all today, if I'm not mistaken. Not to mention, Dylan Gabriel has a lot to deal with. A lot of noise, Joe Flacco being traded, and Shedeur Sanders thinks he needs to start. And, hey, Dylan Gabriel is the 41st starting quarterback for the Browns since 1999, since they came back into the NFL. I mean, talk about just trying to, buck the heritage, and just trying to overcome this terrible history that he has behind him. I think he's going to be all right, but this is the Browns we're talking about. They make bad decisions, and it's what they do. Baker Mayfield is having himself a great career in Tampa Bay and was having himself a fine career in Cleveland, and he still got traded away. So, you can't fix stupid. So that's just the way it is. The leading receiver for Cleveland was Darrell Fannin, who had 7 receptions for 81 yards. Again, offense is not really able to get it going, haven't scored more than 17 points at all this season. And they were dealing with a good defensive front today. The team had 6 total sacks of the defensive unit. Jalen Ramsey had 2. One of the best tackling, best blitzing cornerbacks of all time. Nick Herbig had 2. Him and Dylan Gabriel got history because they were playing against each other in the Hawaii State championship game for high school, and Nick Herbig dominated then, and he dominated now. Had 2 sacks on the day. Derek Harmon, the rookie defensive lineman out of Oregon, had 1. Alex Highsmith, back from injury, was credited with half a sack, as was TJ Watt, who's always stuffing up the stat sheets in lots of different ways and helping getting his guys involved. So, again, with every week, this defense is looking to be better. They've shut down the run, and again, great running back they have in Judkins. He's going to have a good career as well, can do a lot, but again, held to just 36 yards. So the Steelers defense did their thing. A lot of bend but don't break, had countless opportunities to intercept the ball today and just did not bounce their way. But again, batted down balls is better than a completion to the offense anyway. So yeah, defense looking good. Excited to see what they do moving forward, because this unit is really coming together as a unit and gelling and just playing good football, good complementary football, giving the offense some life and taking care of things on their end. So overall, good day from the defense. I'm giving them an A. So the Steelers have a short week ahead of them as they face off against the Cincinnati Bengals and familiar foe Joe Flacco on Thursday Night Football. Of course, the Bengals are playing with practically 0 offensive line. They got old man Flacco back there who can't move around a lot. Short week, but I like the Steelers' odds. People online are already calling it the Unk Bowl, as Rodgers and Flacco are 2 of the oldest starting quarterbacks in the NFL as they combine for 81 years of life. May the best geezer win. Thanks again for tuning into the Black and Yellow Beat. I'm your host, Jaiman White. Thanks for checking out Jaiman Cool Media, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.